The panic selling has begun, and in a way, it's already ended. But prices are still pretty low. You can still get in on a lot of investments as we exit this weekend. If you guys watched the last episode, I showed you who I was looking at, and I went in over 1 million coins on one single card. Let's hop into it. Welcome to another episode of Trading to Glory. If you're new to the channel, my name is Sean, aka Elite, and today we're talking about investments that will rise out of this weekend league. It's Sunday now, and on Monday and Tuesday we should be expecting these cards to continue going up in price. Another thing that we have to consider, it is a promo right now, so EA could add supply here and there. They didn't add a lot of supply at the beginning of last week during the second OTW promo. So we'll see what they do this weekend. If they drop any supply on Sunday other than squad battle rewards or any supply on Monday from a daily SBC. But last week, Tuesday was kind of the high point, which we expected, and I kind of expect it to be similar this week as well. So hopefully you guys got in on some investments. If not, I'll show you some that I got in on and some cards that I'm still looking at investing in. And right now, out-of-pack investing is kind of what I'm leaning towards for the rest of my coins. But something to remind you guys of is player contracts. I've got a lot of non-rare player contracts in my club. I listed up a bunch of them, and this was literally one listing. I listed up all of those on one single listing, and only 3 of them didn't sell out of all of them. So it's worth listing them up during the weekend. They do sell for a little bit more than discard price. A lot of people don't realize that. We can go ahead and clear the sold items there. And then the shadow cards are up near 5,000 coins now, which is great. If you guys have rare player contracts, don't quick sell them, because on weekends, lazy borrowers will pick them up for upwards of 1,000 coins, and they'll definitely sell for 500 and above, no doubt. So that's something to also be listing of those cards. And if you watched the Ultimate Trading Guide that we dropped last week, that was the long video that we did with a lot of other creators. It explained consumables trading and how there is demand for those contracts and you can get them to sell. So make sure that you're listing them and getting those profit, especially if you're not going to use all of those contracts. And if you have 1,000 of them, well, you're definitely not going to be using all 1,000, at least not that soon. And you'll have time to replenish that supply. So as you guys can see, De Jong was the one card that I went in on the most. I also like Thomas Muller. I got him for 19,000 coins there. De Jong I got for 104,000, 100K, 105K. I don't think I spent more than 105K on all but one of them, which I accidentally bought one for 108. There was one for 107 with a shadow. There's another 100, 103, 105, 104. I bought that one at 108 because I thought it said 100. I need to get my eyes checked, but 108 and then 103 again. So yeah, that is our main investment right now, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of them. So that's, 1.2 million coins plus on those cards right now. And if we want to check his updated price, I think he fluctuated back up to 110. And yeah, that's about what he's going for right now. It looks like he sells for 110. But we're looking for more than that. And again, it's always risky when you're playing around with the gold cards that are in packs, because if EA drop a ton of supply randomly, then that could screw the investment. But looking at what happened last week with the likes of Ben Yedder, we pretty much know that these cards should be rising out of the weekend. Ben Yedder, for example, he was 22,000 coins to 23,000 coins at his low point. And what happened as he exited the weekend, he went from 22, 23 all the way to about 38,000 coins, which is a huge return on investment. And then once that compliment link that he had to Chow Many died out and not a lot of people were using it anymore, people were selling off, and the hype just kind of died for that. Well, he went all the way down from 38 down to what he is right now, which is about 18,000 coins. So he crashed hard. And the same thing happened to Al Jabir. You guys know I was fluctuate trading with him a bunch. But as Anderson Talisca's inform and his SBC card kind of fizzled out, I mean, that card was about 90,000 coins because of the hype from the Anderson Talisca. He got all the way up to 140K. And now, guys, you can take off that one, and he is about 40,000 coins. He's dropped 100K. that is a very, very big drop. So hopefully you didn't have any Sammy Aljabirs still sitting on your transfer list. I know I didn't. Got all of mine sold with quite a few days to spare. But the next one I'm kind of looking at in terms of the hero cards, I like Clint Dempsey a little bit, mainly because of the MLS factor, not because of the fact that his card is really that great. I feel like EA are bound to drop an MLS card in an objective, an SBC, or something like that eventually. I don't know when it's going to come, but it'll come eventually. Maybe it's during the Halloween promo, like we've seen Iko Para get some of those Halloween cards in the past. I don't know what it'll be, but it's going to come eventually. All it needs is one MLS card to go up. And as it's sitting at about 26,000 coins right now, this card could easily go up to 40, 50,000 coins with a good link. I'm saying that that card needs to be like, kind of a Ryan Kent caliber card. It's got to be something that's very, very good, but you just can't fit it in a team, and you got to go through Clint Dempsey to get it. Ideally, it would be an American in MLS, but any MLS player would work because they get green links, but an American in MLS would get a hyperlink to this Dempsey, and that way you could probably make it into a squad with no other links. And that's what we're going to be on keeping our eye out for. I don't know if it's worth putting all your coins into yet. He has shown signs of continued drops. He got down to 22,000 coins at one point today, but it's something that I'm keeping in the back of my head, and I'm ready to put all of my coins into when the time is right. Thomas Muller is another inform that I like, not as a meta investment. Nothing with 69 pace is going to be meta, but it is a high-rated inform at 88 rating, and it's an inform nonetheless. So it's going to go out of packs on Wednesday, and if you actually take a look on Footbin and take a look at 88 rated players in general, well, you're looking at not too much more expensive. And you can find that by clicking on SBC cheapest players by rating, scrolling down to 88 rating, and the cheapest 88 rated player is about 17,000 coins right now. They're up a little bit from what they were a few days ago. You've got Suarez, Lukaku, actually Erling Haaland and Lukaku have both entered that discard price race. At first, there was only 4 different cards that were cheap, like Ramos, Kroos, Navas, and I believe it was Suarez. Now Lukaku and Haaland are also SBC fodder options, which I was not expecting to happen this early in the year, but they've already been phased out of being kind of in the meta. I think people still use Lukaku and Haaland, but not quite as much as I thought they would. I thought Haaland was going to end up being one of the best cards in the game. He's not actually that good in game, even if his stats look great at face value. So there are a few more options now at 88 rated, but because Muller is in form, he's going to get taken out of pack. So if you can get him for 20K and less, I just don't see any risk with that card. Every single SBC that comes out in the future is going to add more demand for that card. The supply will dwindle eventually, and we'll see how high he ends up going, because the sky is really the limit with a card that's going out of packs like that. So I definitely would suggest it with him. You've even got 89 rated like Navas and Suarez. Not terrible investments either. They're a little bit more above the discard price, and you just don't see any other informs on this list until you get up to 90 rating, but that's mostly because there's just not that many 90 rateds in the game. That Benzema's 100K, which is 70,000 more than the cheapest 90 rated cards in the game at about 27,000 coins. But we've seen a rise. The SBC fodder is on its way up. We'll take a look at the hourly graph yesterday. You can see he was about 23K, and he rose all the way up to 27. Nabil Fekir is that SBC that's bringing cards up. If you actually take a look at it, 92% of people like this SBC. And if you compare that to other SBCs, Delict, only 53%. Florian Wirtz, 70%, which is actually pretty solid. Benzema got a good vote. Yeah, 74%. Ronaldo got 8%. Gus Teal got 58%, and that was only 9,000 coins. Koulibaly, 27%. So Umtiti got 14% liked. So this is the highest rated in terms of the likes on Futbin for these SBCs. So people are doing it. People are doing Fekir. They definitely like the SBC, and I don't blame them. It's pretty good SBC to do. You can use some SBC fodder that you've already had in your club on it, and you do end up needing to get a 86 rating on the second team. So you can actually do that SBC for pretty cheap, and you can see people are already have used a lot of that SBC fodder on other squad building challenges, so it's starting to rise as we speak. So getting in on SBC fodder right now, it's still, you're pretty early in the process. You're not going to be making the most amount of coins, but there's definitely options to go with. I like the Thomas Muller, and even if you're just going with certain ratings as an investment, 86, 87, you're probably doing pretty solid with it. 86s have only risen from like 6 to 8K so far, so there's still a lot of room to rise. I think that a lot of these cards in previous years have settled, like 86s settle around, I'd say, somewhere around 15 to 20K normally, and it's like 20 to 25K for 87s. And then the 88 settle somewhere around 30K, and that's not even informs. So Muller should go even higher as time goes on. So I like that as a big investment, which we'll actually go ahead and pick up a few more of as the night goes on. I'm in no huge rush to invest in him, and you shouldn't be either. He's still going to be in packs for a few more days. And if there's more supply on Tuesday or something, then he should go even lower. And on top of that, you've still got a lot of people opening their packs from finishing Weekend League. In fact, I've only played 4 of my matches, so I know that I've still got my packs to open. Hopefully I go 12-8 and get those Team of the Week cards that are tradable. And because that's what I went last week, and I got 3 of the crappiest Team of the Week cards. Maybe I'll pack myself something decent this week. He's about 20.5K right now, which again, it's only 3,000 coins above the cheapest one on the market, which is Erling Haaland, which if you've been investing in Erling Haaland, I mean, you've only lost coins. He has been a downward spiral, and I'm glad I stopped messing with him after like the first 2 days of FIFA 22, because he has been just a downward spiral in comparison to nothing else I've seen. That's actually a decent deal. Center mid, Hunter card, Erling Haaland. I can go ahead and flip that. It's not an investment, even if the fact that he is finally SBC fodder, that is not an investment. I just picked it up because he had a Hunter card at center mid, and I can do a little bit of tech avion flipping on that card. So you can see Erling Haaland's about 19K at that position, but if you add a Hunter card, he is he's still about 20K. A lot of Hunter cards on that. Let's see what his cheapest one is. 19 flat. That's what I'll list him for. Got him for 17. I'll flip him for 19, make a nice 1,000 coin profit on that card. But that's besides the point. That's just a quick flip for a 1,000 coin profit. The investments I'm making, De Jong, Muller, and I'll go ahead and start picking up some more, and I'll update you guys in a few minutes. Another thing to talk about today, guys, is going to be informs in the current team of the week. Some really good investments, actually. And I've only got 700K left to invest, so I've only got a little bit of coins to invest in this. But even if you have less than 700K, there are options for you right now. And I'm definitely going to put some more coins into this. Let's take a look at Dest, for example. He went out of packs, right? He hit his low point on the weekend, Saturday, Sunday. This was even before Weekend League started. But you can see Monday, Tuesday, it actually started rising. Hits Wednesday, goes out of packs, right? And he's only been rising since, okay? It's a meta card. It's decent enough that people use it. And since the supply's gone, it's only going to rise. And it'll probably get even a little bit higher unless, you know, another special card comes out for a left back in La Liga. Then he gets replaced. People that have him in their team will list him on the market. And then there's some supply there. And there's another option for people to go with. So that's the only reason that a card would go down out of packs like him. But we take a look at last week's, like Heung-min Son. This is a more recent card. We can use it as an example for how cards fluctuate after Weekend League. And you can see, again, it's Saturday, Sunday, hits his low point. And you've just got to find that sweet spot, all right? Keep track of his fluctuation in the next few hours after you're watching this video. And the opportunity to buy your inform, whichever it is, and we'll talk about a few of the examples in a second, but whichever one you choose, there's going to be an opportunity to pick up. Just try to get it at the low point of its fluctuation. And if you aren't able to do that, it's okay. Just trust yourself not to panic sell. If you buy at, let's say, 200K for Theo Hernandez and he goes down to 195 a couple hours later or even a few minutes later, don't panic sell that card. Trust the investment. You might have bought a little bit early. That's fine. It's one of the toughest things to do is buy at the perfect time and sell at the perfect time each time you buy an investment. It's just not going to happen. It's not realistic. But if you trust the investment as a whole, it's going to end up making you coins. That card could go from 195 back up to 240. And you got it for 200, you sell for 240, you make yourself about, what is that, 18,000 coin profit after tax? That's solid. We'll take that profit. But you can see it hit the low point, and it rose a bunch. All right, this card went from 520,000 coins all the way up to 580, and you had a 2-day span where it was up at that point, and it's still, profit. Even if you were to, buy at the perfect time and then sell now, you're still making profit on that Heung-min Son. So pretty solid investment. So if we take a look at some of the current informs, Theo Hernandez is one that a lot of people have been looking at, and I think it's going to end up being a good investment. It's at 204 right now. You can get them for 200 flat, no problem at all. And I think over the course of the next couple of days, this card should go over 230 without any issue. And you're also looking at a card that has only 10K tax, okay? So you've got to get it for 200. Once it hits 210, that's when you break even on the tax. And then every single 1,000 coins it rises from then on out, it's profit, okay? Which is solid. But it's 200K each. So if you have 1,000,000 coins, you're only getting 5. And if he goes to 240, you make yourself 30K per card. That's 150K profit in total off of a 1 million coin investment. All right. So the return on investment that's really good. All right. Let's be real. That's really good, but it's not perfect. It's not the best we've seen all year. I mean, that Ben Yedder pretty much doubled in price, and that Muller inform investment, although it's going to take a little while, you're going to double your coins on that Muller inform investment over the course of a few months. So you just got to be patient with it, but you don't want to put all of your coins into a passive investment that takes that long, or you're basically just sitting there waiting on a card to rise, and you're not actively trading at the same time, which is what I warned you guys about before FIFA 22 even came out. Rafinha is another card that I actually like a lot because of the fact that people are using it. It is 84 rated, but it's 50K, and people are using it. Premier League cards like this haven't done well as gold cards, but as this card goes out of packs, I think it could do pretty well. And if you think about right wings in the league, I mean, Sterling's a left wing, and a lot of people like Sterling, but on the right wing, people are still using Adama Traore and stuff like that because there's not as many options on that side until you can afford Salah, which is a completely different price range. You're looking at 400,000 coins on that card, and I might be overlooking a card or two as options. But that doesn't mean that Rafinha doesn't have demand. It's kind of similar to Dest, right? He went out of packs at 15K, although there is Ferland Mendy as an option. That's in a different price bracket, okay? It's not like you're putting up Dest side by side with Ferland Mendy, and you're really like, oh, which card's better? Of course it's Ferland Mendy, but he's also 4 times the price. So that's why people go with Dest. And I think it'll be similar when comparing Rafinha and Salah. It's 6 times the price of Rafinha. So why not go with a card? He's got 4-star, left-footed on the right wing. People love that to cut in, hit those finesse shots. And he's down. He was selling for a day at about 86,000 coins. We know people will spend the money on it. And at its low points, it gets down to like 48. All right, it's hit about 48 at its low points. So that's kind of what I'm looking for on it, 48 or less. Maybe if I can get them for 47 or less, that's even more profit, but I'm not going to be too stingy because at this price, if you were to sell for 50K, that's 2.5 thousand coin tax. So this card just needs to rise 3,000 coins. You've already broken even on the tax. Every 1,000 coins that it rises from then on out, it's just 1,000 coins more profit. So if this card got up to 60,000 coins, you're making about 7,000 coins per card, I'd say. If we're getting it for 49, you're making 8,000 or 9,000 coins per card. But let's say we're making 7,000 coins per card, but we bought 1,000,000 coins worth of this. Well, you're actually going to end up making, even on just 7K return on 1,000,000 coins, you're making about the same as Theo Hernandez if he rose 30K profit per card, and that's 40K overall. So this card would only have to rise 10,000 coins as opposed to 40K. And if it rose 10,000 coins, you'd actually, if my math is correct, make slightly more than a Theo Hernandez investment that rose 40,000 coins. So that's something that is very appealing about the low-rated or the low-priced informs that are in the current Team of the Week. And you can kind of use this logic for any of the Team of the Week cards as long as they're meta enough to be used. And it's a different concept for the SBC fodder, because the SBC fodder should fluctuate with how squad building challenges are doing. So if, like, Suarez, for example, if Suarez ever hits 25,000 coins, the thing about it is Thomas Muller will not drop below 25K. He'll be above the Luis Suarez price, because there's no reason a Team of the Week would have less value than a gold card. It might have the same value as a gold card in a lot of scenarios if there's no Team of the Week needed for an SBC. But if it goes to 25K, then Muller is above 25K. The thing is that if it goes to 25K and then drops back down to 20K, well, because the Muller will have been out of packs at that point, then that Muller will just stay at 25K most of the time, maybe drop to 24.5, 24, but the supply is gone. So until the next time you need 88 rated cards for an SBC, he's going to chill at 24, 25K. He's never really going to drop at that point. There's just no supply anymore for that card. So the next time it's needed, it'll already be at 25, and it'll rise up to 30, 35, and at some point it'll hit 50K and go extinct. And then they'll update the price range as time goes on. I've seen some of these cards, like I believe it was a Benedict Havidez. It was actually an 84 rated Benedict Havidez, who I don't even know if is in the game at this point. He's not even in the game. I think he retired. But he had a left back card. It was German. It was actually in the Russian league, and it was 84 rated, and the card was about 12 to 14,000 coins for most of the time it was in packs. And then once it went out of packs, SBC dropped next week, and then the next week, and then the next week. Well, that card ended up going to 50K, going extinct, and then getting a price range update. He ended up selling for about 70,000 coins once it was said and done. This was like a month after it had been released into packs, but that is an insane return on investment. We're looking at current Team of the Week cards at doing a very, very similar thing as we go through the course of the next few weeks. And when we get closer to Halloween, we're going to have more SBCs than we saw all throughout the year. We just had a great Fakir SBC. We might have another great SBC later this week, and they could start rising a lot sooner than we expect. Here's what I'll leave you guys with today. Thinking of Gvardiol, who is in the current Team of the Week as an 81 rated card, so it's going to be packed a lot, but it's actually a really good card. Only problem with it is links to next to nothing, right? It's an RB Leipzig player from Croatia, and it's really tough to link as a center back there in Bundesliga. So you kind of got to go with a couple of different options. Like you've got Nkunku, who's out of packs right now, so I like that kind of as a safe investment. And then you've also got Mukiele, who's got that new Road to the Knockouts card. I picked up one Nkunku, this one for 43K. I grabbed it because it had a shadow on it. I've seen some pop up for 40 and 39,000 coins, but those are pretty quick snipes. Most of them are around 43 to 44,000 coins if you're trying to buy at this current moment. So it's not too easy to get for a really cheap price, but here's the thing. He was up at like 49 yesterday, and that makes me think, well, people would buy this card, and he's been on an upward spiral ever since he left packs other than the last 24 hours. The only problem with it is people went out and did Fakir, and I think people with a lot of French players in their teams ended up getting that Fakir card and then replacing Nkunku. So that's probably why we saw a drop in price on Nkunku in the last day. So that's why he's down right now, but I think with the Gvardiol link and with him being out of packs, he could be an okay investment. And when we look at Rafinha one more time, this has got to be the more risky play of this episode, because if you take a look at his price, guys, I mean, it is not that appealing in comparison to maybe a Theo Hernandez card and the other cards we've looked at today, because it is an 84 rated, which is good. It's an inform, which is good. It's going out of packs on Wednesday. 50,000 coins, though, it's a tough one. It's a weird thing. I don't think people would pay over 70K for this card. I think 50 is already kind of pushing it, and I'm not sure if that 79 shooting is going to cut it for a lot of people who want somebody on the wing, because he's got a pretty similar card to a lot of the lower rateds that are much cheaper. Like Adama Traore is a terrible, option at right mid at this point in the game. He's fast. He's got okay dribbling. He's got great physicality, but that's it. He doesn't have shooting. And Rafinha, it does have a little bit more shooting, but is it enough to pay 50,000 coins for? And that's what I'm a little bit nervous when it comes to Rafinha. That's what I'm nervous about. So be a little careful with him. In theory, he should still rise if we follow the trends of all the other cards. The data shows us that he would rise. But unfortunately, in the back of my head, I'm just like, well, I don't know if that card's actually worth that much. We'll see if he does rise. And I think I'd be a lot more comfy making that investment if it was out of packs already, which is why I'm kind of leaning towards Nkunku. In fact, Taylor Hernandez, guys, in the last 30 minutes has already started rising from when we recorded that last part of the video. He's already going up, and there's going to be another opportunity to get him on the way down, I'm sure. And in fact, he's actually on his way down already. He went from 205 all the way up to 218-ish, and now he's on his way back down. So hopefully he gets back down to 205. One more time, I'll probably buy 2 of him with the rest of my coins here. There's going to be another opportunity to grab him, so that's going to be when I do. That's when I'm going to grab him once he hits his bottom point during this drop. So that's my plan to finish off the night, and those are my investments exiting this weekend. Hopefully this video, guys, helped you out, and if it did, make sure to slap a like. As I said, we're going for 550 likes on today's video, and if you made it to the end of the video, comment the word cauliflower down in the comment section down below, and that's how I'll know if you made it to the end of the video. And for you guys that did make it to the end of the video, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for your support. Anyways, guys, that's it for me today in this episode of the Trading to Glory. I will see you in the next one. Peace out.